Women in real estate, it's changing at a rapid pace. Stay tuned for Friday Morning Minute.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up. Go the girls. Go the girls. So, this is a great topic for today. First of all, because obviously I am
You're
a
pretty,
woman.
you're pretty excited when we thought of this topic. Yes, yes.
Yeah, go the girls. Go the girls. And it's actually quite timely because last night I was at an amazing women's event. And I was invited by the head of Commonwealth Bank Private, who is an amazing lady. And there were just so many incredible women in the room, one of which the event was actually for Bianca Spender, who is Carla Zampatti's daughter. And what I absolutely loved about everything that she was saying was that she's just her being her. She's an amazing, amazing woman in the fashion industry. I'm sure many people have heard of her. I'm certainly sure that people have heard of Carla Zampatti. So, but just the things that she was saying, Mark. But what I took away most out of it, and I actually put a little story onto my Instagram page, was just how passionate she was about what she did. And for her, it wasn't even about being at the absolute epitome of fashion. For her, it was about just doing what she absolutely loves doing. And as I said, that passion was completely evident in everything that she does, says, makes. This is a incredible lady that's been doing this for a very, very long time. But today we're going to be talking about women in real estate. It's a big topic, Mark. You tell me, you've been in real estate for a really long time. What have you seen it change a lot over the years?
No.
No, you haven't seen it change a lot?
I distinctly remember powerhouse women in real estate selling my whole career. I certainly think there's more boys than girls, and I certainly think the boys club is just always a boys club, whether it's a football team or soccer team. It's just fun. I don't think the guys, because I hear it in real estate, they're the boys club. But I think they just cluster a little bit. But yeah, I think there's always been really good women in real estate. But
Yeah.
I wonder what the analytics are. I just wonder if what the ratio would be there.
So, an interesting question. Do you think that women are doing better in real estate now than what they were doing maybe 30 years ago when you came into real estate? 30 odd years ago?
Now, look, I remember my whole career distinctly remember like shit hot salespeople, male and female, the whole way along. Has that ratio changed? I don't know. I just think there's always been really good women agents around our area.
Yeah. Oh, look, one of
What do
my
you
closest
reckon?
one of my closest girlfriends is a phenomenal powerhouse of a real estate agent, Delene Lewis. I mean, many of you guys will know her.
Yeah.
Delene's on that show, Lux Listings. So Delene's a really good friend of ours. And she's always been an absolute powerhouse. But I remember chatting with Delene when I first came into real estate sales five and a half years ago. And I remember, one of the things she said was just, be careful because, it is a bit of a man's world out there with respect to real estate. And again, I think you're right, Mark. I think it does change, from area to area. But, Delene seems to work in an area where maybe it is a little bit more male dominated. She is absolutely a powerhouse in the country and certainly in her area. I remember we were at a function when I was just coming into real estate sales, And I remember we were at a function for Melbourne Cup. So it would have been around this time, probably 5 years ago. And I had said to a male real estate agent, oh, I'm thinking of coming into real estate sales. And do you know what his reaction was?
What?
He literally laughed in my face. And that for me was a
Name
really
this person, Lisa. Name this person.
No, I'm definitely not naming them. That's not my way. But I have to say, I do want to thank that person for doing that, because that is probably what catapulted me at that moment. And it was literally the next day, Mark, that I picked up my chair in the office and moved it over into the sales team. And I was like, I'll show you. What you watch, I'm going to show you what I can do.
Oh, the wrath of a woman.
And I'm not saying that that's a woman's thing. I'm just saying, for me, that was a really defining moment in my career.
So why was he laughing though?
I think, look, I don't know. I mean, I'm speculating here, but I think probably a variety of reasons. And I don't know if it had anything to do with the fact that I'm a woman. Let's just make that clear. I think it was more the fact that I was your wife, and I was always seen as just Mark's wife. And at that stage, I was working behind the scenes in more of a support role in the business. So maybe
I'm just seen as
why.
Lisa's husband.
What's that?
Now I'm just seen as Lisa's husband.
This Mark. How does that make you feel, Mark?
I was trying to bring a friend on today, Damien, to explain this.
Oh, that would be you got to. Let's stitch him up. We got to get him on. I know Damien absolutely hates getting in front of the camera. We do bring him on from time to time. He hates it. But let's talk about women in real estate. And this is not a man versus woman thing, guys. Please understand that. This is just me talking as a woman and what I see in our industry through my own eyes.
I do like the fact are that they do have to go off and have babies.
Women.
Yeah. So that's right. Always good in terms of.
But hang on. Mark, this is not that's not an illness. That's not oh, poor you. This is a wonderful thing. Oh, yeah. And so women, make no mistake, are phenomenal multitaskers. Absolutely phenomenal. You know, when I look at my day and what I do, it is far more than just get up, suit up, go to work, come home, go to bed. And I'm not saying, guys, please understand, this is just me telling you what I do with my day. You know, there are and not to say that men aren't running families. This is not what it's about. We're just talking about what we see with our own eyes in our day to day. But you know, like if I look at this morning, for instance, you know, got up already. I've already done an hour and a half worth of work. Got Jade, our daughter, ready for school. You know, planned out the next couple of days because it's her last few days at school. Had a great chat with her. Made her morning tea. Made her brekkie. Made her you know, we're constantly multitasking. There's so much more that's going on behind the scenes. But I do want to say this, all of that aside, right? Because I know there's some amazing dads that, you know, do the same thing. All of that aside, there is something that women bring to the table, and I know this and I see this and I feel this and I hear this as a woman real estate agent, and it's called empathy.
What's that?
It's called empathy.
Never heard of it.
Mark, stop that. Guys, can you just give us a thumbs up? I can't see any comments here. If you can hear us properly, because I've got really bad feedback on my end. It sounds like there's really bad static there. So just give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
We got a thumbs up.
Stunning. Empathy. It's a really big thing. And I'll tell you what else, Mark, that I find. So empathy is a certain compassion and you know, just a really good understanding, being able to listen, understand, sympathize, be compassionate. It's something that just comes very natural to most women. And we bring that to the table, and we bring it to the table really, really well.
I thought it was like a little beef pocket in Mexico. Empanada, nah, bad dad joke. Lise, do you reckon putting that aside, women in real estate, do you think they are purely just giving people a different, more choice when you're selling your place? Like, and again, framing up what you just said, do you think that people can choose, someone that's empathetic, that's understanding, that's listening, and they've just got more choice out there? So, I don't think, it's about better or worse. Women are better, men are worse in real estate. But
No, no.
I do think that set of skills that can be used to our industry sometimes aren't readily available, out there. So the women out there's probably just, I think women in real estate's. So I started off saying I don't think it's grown that much. Luke said it was 80-20 in terms of 80% men. What where would you put the ratio? And do you think it's more or less it's growing or it's the same?
Okay, there's lots of questions there. So on the Northern Beaches, and I don't have the stats, but if I was to have a guess, I would say it's probably 65% male and 35% women. If I was to have a guess, that's what I think. There definitely feels like there's more men in our industry on the Northern Beaches, and that, listen, that could change from area to area, and I will find the stats and I will come back to you guys on that. You were asking the question, Mark, and I feel like what you were actually asking was, do you think that maybe I would get listings because I'm a woman over a man? No, it's a true question. And I do think there have been, there have been times when I have won a listing because I am a woman, and it's usually the vendor is a woman herself. So yes, I do. And I have this situation at the moment. I've just brought on a property actually, and it's a really beautiful elderly vendor. And I know that she was looking for a woman agent. So, there's this sort of, security there, I guess, in knowing that she's dealing with another woman. Again, it's that empathy that, possibly I'm able to bring to the table. I did win a listing, Mark, to Riddell Street in Manly, that $21.5 million property that I sold
Yeah.
on Manly Beachfront. That beautiful vendor, that I had actually listed and sold another property for her when I first came into sales, but she directly had said to me that she wanted to deal with a woman, again, an elderly lady. So yeah, I do think there are times when people are choosing women agents because they just do want a woman agent.
And my final question, do you reckon that's growing, the rate of women in real estate, shrinking, or the same?
I think it's growing. I think it's growing. I do. So, first of all, we've got a lot more flexibility around working hours and things like that. A lot of what we do you're probably not going to like to hear this, Mark, as a business owner, but we're on our phones now, whether or not we're sitting in an office at a desk, or the vast majority of my work is done from my car. So, we can do this remotely. You can do it while you're multitasking. It is an enormous amount of work. Coming into real estate sales, I had no idea that it was going to be this many hours. So you've got to be really, really good at multitasking. I've got one of my best girlfriends is always saying to me, I know you've got more than 24 hours in your day. Like, I know the amount of stuff that you get done in your day. But I'm constantly multitasking. I mean, Mark, we live together, I'm constantly running around with my AirPods in or on my phone while I'm, packing a lunch, or, like, as I said, we're just great at multitasking.
Juggle, juggle, juggle.
Juggle, juggle, juggle. Are we better or worse? That's not what this is about. This is about talking about women in real estate. I reckon there are definitely more of us in real estate. And as I said, I think there's things that women bring to the table that men just don't. That's the bottom line. I'd love to hear from any women real estate agents on here, just not even real estate agents, just any women as
Yeah.
to what they think. But,
What about
it's
least real estate agents, least trusted profession? Would women help? Would women help this? Yeah.
Hey, I saw that. I saw that the Today Show had put something onto their social media. It was something to do with us being the most unethical profession. I think we ranked as number one. I don't know if that was the exact wording. I'll find it. I've got the poll on my social media. Um, that's so questionable, seriously. I think that is an uneducated comment, because if people actually realise what it is that real estate agents do all day, every day, the vast majority of people would agree that we put our heart and soul into every single thing that we do.
Doesn't change the fact that they're not trusted.
I think that kind of got wrapped up into that. If you read the comments that went alongside that, post, I think you'd disagree, Mark. It's
I often think we're the deliverer of bad news, unfortunately. And how do you wrap up bad news with nice paper? Like, I don't know. Like, I think that that's harsh. When they're not getting properties, it's like screw you, and then the whole trust factor gets smashed. If they miss out on a rental property, that it's
I get that, but
I think that I don't understand where that comes from. The not trusting thing. I think you're talking millions of dollars. You're always going to have question. You're always going to ask millions of questions when you're talking about millions of dollars on a transaction that you're doing. So if that translates to trust, when we bought a place, we must have had thousands of conversations about the agent that we're selling with, buying with, like it just and what they're doing. So I guess it's interesting.
I know, and I hear what you're saying, but for me, when I'm dealing with a client, and this is interesting that you say that, Mark, because for me, when I'm dealing with a vendor, the most important thing, or a buyer, or a tenant, or anyone that I have to deal with in my career, the most important thing for me is to build trust with them. That is the most important thing. And that starts right from the minute I have had my very first conversation with people. It's really, really important. You cannot be all things to all people. You just cannot. And, I mean, I've had a situation that took place a couple of weeks ago, and for no apparent reason whatsoever, a vendor mid campaign ended up going with another agent. It was a really unusual situation. It really, I mean, yourself, Mark, it really, really upset me, because I was like, I don't understand. I gave everything I had to this. I don't know where it all went wrong. And I came to the really hard realization that I just can't be all things to all people. You can't be everyone's cup of tea. But trust is a really, really important thing. And when I'm sitting there in front of a vendor and I'm doing a presentation, there's often things that I will say and things that I will ask because, for instance, commission. Like, if you take the commission conversation off the table, and, I do a flexi fee just to be transparent. I let my vendors choose my commission within parameters because I want to build the trust with them. What I know is that if a vendor trusts you, and if you get them a great result for their property, and if you've given them phenomenal service, and if you're available to them all the time, and if you hold their hand and step them through the whole process, commission actually is not a conversation. And it's about trust. No, it's the number one thing with a tenant.
Do you reckon women get higher commissions than men?
No, I don't think. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't think. That has anything to do with it. I just don't.
Do you reckon the
As I said, I
close
think.
rate with women? Do you know what? It'd be really interesting to actually rack up. You know how they do like iPhone models next to each other, like male, female real estate. I would love to know, in general, in real estate, if there was a higher success rate or lower success rate with women signing up property to sell, commissions and stuff like that. It would be really interesting.
Well, I know, and I work in this sort of model as well, where I've got Michael, my colleague, who works alongside me, and there's been many a time when, I feel we got a listing because we were that male-female duo as well. Like women and men bounce really, really well off each other. Again, because we
Yeah.
bring really different things to the table. There's that listening, that empathy, that having a heart-to-heart with somebody, that, again, that we bring to the table, and many other things. As I said, we're able to multitask really well.
So, at least empowering women in real estate, hear us roar. What's your concluding statement?
We all have amazing things to bring to the table. I do think that, and I'm interested to hear, Mark, that you said you haven't seen it change a lot over the years. I've seen it change in the 5 years that I've been in sales. I reckon there are more women in real estate now than what there were when I came into real estate sales five and a half years ago. But again, it's just that multitasking. We can juggle 20 different balls all at once, and you'll never know it. You will never ever know it. And we all, we do that, and we do it really, really, really well. But Mark, can I finish off by saying this? I want to throw this. I want to throw this into the fire pit. I do, however, think that there is a man's world there that goes on. I do. I've been privy to it this week, and it's real and it exists. Will I put up with it? No. Do I care for it? No. Does it bother me? No. But it does exist. True story. You wouldn't feel it. You're a man, but it does exist. It's there. It exists in the corporate world as well, FYI. I attended a conference last year, and it was a very hot topic of discussion. Very hot topic of discussion. So yeah, I mean, me as a woman, I definitely won't put up with it. I won't tolerate it, but it's there. It's real, and it does exist. Go the girls. Go the girls.
Ooh. Have a great day. Sorry about my foggy screen. I don't know what happened there. I've tried to clean it. See ya.
I know what happened.
Bye, Lee. Bye, Lisa.